Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So this video is about Java Server Pages, also known as JSP. Okay, what we are going to learn in this chapter, okay, let's look at the outlines, the introduction, what is meant by JSP, what is the JSP processing, the predefined variables, the JSP directives, and the last two are associating properties with input parameters and the forwarding requests from JSP. Alright, so let's look at the introduction first. So actually JSP is a server-side programming technology that enables the creation of dynamic platform-independent method for building web-based application. So JSP have access to the entire family of Java APIs, including the JDBC API to access enterprise databases. JSP also actually is an enhancement of servlet that you have learned before this. Okay, so let's look at the architecture of JSP. So if you have at the left side here is your the client. Okay, the client need to access the internet, and then the client requests something from the server. So inside the server actually there is a JSP there which will handle or process the request that asked by the client. Okay, so JSP also will work with web servers such as Blazing, Tomcat, WebLogic, and WebSphere. And then if the client requests to access the database, and then the server or JSP will access the data from the database, will do some processing and return back to the user. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, this one is the detailed architecture or framework of how the JSP is being used in the data processing or in the web server. Okay, so you can see here the browser has requests to the JSP. JSP sometimes use Java Bean to deals with database, and then the database return the result, okay, to Java Bean, and Java Bean proceed to the JSP, and JSP will give response to the browser. Okay, so here the below architecture shows you the more detail on how the JSP engine is operated. Okay, first it read the JSP file, translate the JSP to servlet, compile generated file, and last one is execute the generated servlet. Okay, before the JSP return the result to the client or browser. Okay. Okay, next one. So let's look at the JSP anatomy. Right. So actually JSP anatomy consists of several components, okay, and object. So the first one, as you can see there, is directives. Okay. Second is standard action. Third one is scripting. Fourth one is tag libraries, and the other two are implicit objects and also Java beans. Okay. So let's proceed to the next one. So to construct the script of JSP, we need these three types. Okay, the first one is expression, scriptlets, and declaration. Okay, the most important. Okay, three types to construct the scripting. The first one, you can use expression. So how to write the expression in Java, in JSP? So you need to use the following form, this format. Start with percentage followed by the equal symbol, and then you write whatsoever Java expression that you want to write, and then close by percentage. Okay, and then here are the example on how to write the expression. start with open tag, okay, and then followed by percentage with equal symbol, and then write whatsoever expression, and then close with the close tag of JSP. Okay, or you want to write something maths expression, so you also can include within the Java expression tag. Okay, right, so next, okay, number 2, you also can construct the JSP by using scriptlet. Okay, scriptlet is used to embed Java code in JSP pages. So different with expression just now, you need to have the equal symbol, right? So but for scriptlets, I need to use the equal symbol. You just start with percentage, okay, write whatsoever Java statement and close with percentage also. So this is the example on how you want to write the scriptlet of JSP. Okay, next. Okay, number 3 is declaration. Okay, so declaration is used to define methods and instance variables in JSP. Okay, it do not produce output to the client. It's just a declaration of method and also the variables. So you need to use the symbol exclamation mark. So the others are the same like scriptlet and also expression. So this is the example. Okay, so let's say you want to write a method, in this case JSP destroy, JSP init, and you want to declare one variable named my var. Okay, so this is the declaration of JSP. Okay, so next, okay, the fourth is comment. So if you want to include a comment, so you can start with ampersand, then or the percentage symbol, and then followed by the dash dash. Okay, all right, so it's quite similar to HTML comment, but HTML need to use the exclamation mark, but for JSP you just change the exclamation mark to percentage. All right, so next, so given to you is the example of JSP components, which are expression, scriptlet, and declaration in one simple program. Okay, so here you can see there, this is a JSP scriptlet. Okay, whereby it writes for loop here. Okay, and then followed by JSP expression. Okay, and then followed by the JSP declaration. Okay, we have method compute factorial here, right? So this is the output. Okay, right. Okay, so this one present the simple JSP file. Okay, so how to write the JSP file? Let's say the file is named as index.jsp. So this one is the Eclipse format type. Okay, you just write a HTML tag. Okay, so inside the HTML tag, you can include the JSP script there. So in this case, we write inside the body of the HTML, and then you write one line of code here. Okay, we saw this is implement the JSP scriptlet. Okay, this line of code wants to print the value of 2 multiplied with 5. So when you run this code, you will get this kind of output, which is 10. Okay, next. So let's look at the next one. What is meant by JSP processing? Okay, so JSP technology is used to create a web application. Okay, to create web application which means we have client, server and also the database, similar to servlet technology. But actually, JSP is more advanced compared to servlet because it provides more functionality compared to servlet. Okay, so JSP page consists of HTML text and also the JSP text, which is the combination of these two technology, HTML and JSP. So JSP pages are easier to maintain compared to servlet because we can separate the design and also the development. Okay, and then JSP provides some additional features such as expression language and custom text. Okay, so let's look at the differences between JSP and servlet. So the first one, actually JSP is an extension to the servlet. All the features of the servlet can be used in JSP. Okay, and then JSP is easier to maintain compared to servlet. Okay, because it separates the business logic and also the presentation logic. Okay, but in servlet technology, business logic and presentation logic are mixed together. Okay, and then if you use JSP, it's actually has a fast development. You no need to recompile or redeploy the file that you have created. Okay, and then actually if you use JSP, you use less code compared to servlet. Alright, so let's look at what are the predefined variables that have inside the JSP. Okay, so predefined variables, also known as implicit variables. Actually, there are 9 predefined variables: application, config, exception, out, page, page content, request, response, and session. So some of these predefined variables actually are defined in servlet API, and the others are defined in the Java Server Pages API. So you can look at the point number 2 here. What are the variables that declared in the servlet and what other variables are declared in the JSP Pages API? Okay, and let's look at the JSP directives. All right. So there are 3 JSP directives. What is meant by directive? Directive actually is a tag that you can insert into a JSP document to give JSP container information about the JSP itself. Okay, so these tags directly affect the servlet code that is generated. So there are 3 types, which are include, page, and also tag tip. So to write this directive, so you need to follow the general syntax which have been uh, presented to you at the last point there. So you need to start with percentage, or always start with percentage because that one is the JSP symbol, and then followed by alias there, alias symbol, and then followed by directive name and also the directive attribute, then you close. Or you also can use the second syntax there, which is if you don't want to use the percentage symbol, so you can write JSP double dot directive name and then followed by directive attributes. Okay, so let's look at the example. If you want to use directive tag name include, okay, so you can see there in the listing 2.12 and also listing 2.13. So listing 2.12 actually is welcome text.html, right? So you want to include the welcome text.html in the my account.jsp. So you can use the tag include in the my account.jsp as been shown there, okay, at the red arrow. So you just use the keyword include and then you call the file name, which is welcome text.html. Okay, so next, so if you want to implement tag page, so this one is used to set properties of a JSP by setting values for its attributes. Some of the attributes are auto flush, buffer, content type, error page, and many more. So where to include the tag page? So at the first line, the top of the JSP file, after you open the percentage tag, and then you need to include the A here. All right. Okay. Then you write the keyword page, and then choose one of the attribute, which is auto flush equals to true. And then buffer, we have here another one, content type. So you can write all this if you wanted to. Okay, so this kind of directive is used if you want to implement page tag. Okay. All right. So next, okay, another one is called taglib. The purpose of taglib is to extend the functionality of a JSP by importing a tag library, which is simply a set of custom tag. Let's say you have a custom tag, so you can include the custom tag by using taglib. So this is the syntax. Okay, so how to implement the syntax? So, okay, just write like this. Okay. Okay, now we want to look at how to associate properties with input parameters. Basically, there are two ways to associate the properties with input parameters. The first one is by using processing form, which is get and post methods, and second one by using Java beans. All right. So let's look at the first wave, first method, which is by using processing form, get and post method. Okay, then how to read the data. Okay, if you have a form whereby the data is input or inserted by the user. So you want to get the data or read the data. So JSP provide to you some data passing by using several methods such as get parameter values, get parameter names, and also get input string. Usually we will use these three methods, either get parameter, okay, to get the value of a form parameter, or get parameter values. Okay, we use this if the parameter appears more than once and return multiple value, for example, checkbox. And then we will use get parameter names if you want a complete list of all parameters in the current request. Okay. So let's look at the example. Let's say we have one HTML page here that consists of checkbox. Okay, assume that the user will insert the value inside the checkbox. Okay, so how the JSP want to read or access or get the data from checkbox.html. So we create one JSP file here. Okay, and then let's look at how the JSP use the method of get parameter. Okay, right, let's declare the HTML file, tag first, okay, to display the output. And then start with enumeration param names. Okay, declare one variable here. And then it use request dot get parameter names. So in this example, it use get parameters name, which is it wants to get all the names of the input type of the checkbox. Okay, and then this request, okay, this method will be loop, okay, will be repeated until the data, all the data has been obtained. Right? Okay. So the second way to access the data is by using Java Beans. So what is meant by Java Beans? Java Bean is a reusable software component that can be manipulated visually in a builder tool. What page builders, visual application builders, or GUI layout builders, or document editors. Okay, actually beans are regular Java classes. You can simply create the Java bean by using Java classes, and beans may have a GUI or invisible. Okay, so bean features. A bean class must have a zero argument default constructor. So when you want to create a Java beans, you must have make sure that a bean class must have a zero argument constructor, which is default constructor. A bean class should have no public instance variable fields, and bean must have persistent values. Long-term storage or data is not frequently accessed, should be accessed through method, or also known as accessor or mutator. Okay, so what are the Java Beans properties? Java Bean property is a name attribute that can be accessed by the user of the object. The attribute can be of any Java type, including classes that you define. A Java Bean property may be read, write, read only, or write only. And Java Bean properties are accessed through two methods in the Java Beans implementation class. Okay, so let's look at the method that can be used in the Java Beans. The first one is get property name. Okay, and second one is set property name. So if you still remember, in Java class, we have an accessor and also a mutator. Okay, so similar like this, these are the methods that we can include inside the Java beans. Okay, so let's look at the example how to write a Java bean. So first of all, we need to create a package first that we want to include the Java bean inside it. Okay, then you declare one name or one class name, for example, student beans. Okay, we have three variables here. Okay, and then set as private. Okay, and must have a default constructor, getter, and also the setter for all three variables that we have declared. Right? So next, so how we want to use all the variables that we have declared inside the Java beans? Okay, so in the JSP file, you just write the HTML tag first, and then you need to use this line of code and tag. So for example, you have JSP here and then double dot, you need to use the keyword use bean. Okay, means JSP want to use the Java beans to process or to access the data. So name give the ID to the bean, which is student, and then you need to identify or tell the compiler or the server which class is the student's bean is located, which is inside the package one. Then you close the Java use bean tag. And then here is the line of codes to set the property, and then to tell the server that we want to set the value of the name, first and last, and also age to what kind of value. Then we want to access all the three variables. You need to use the tag get property. Okay, like this. And then here is the label. After we run the file, okay, this get property methods will return the value that we have set before. Okay, which is Zara, Ali, and 10. All right. Okay, then this one. Okay, we have another bin declaration here. Okay, another example how to declare a bin. So inside this bin or inside this file or name string bin, okay, it consists only a message, right? Declare one variable string message here, then getter and also the setter. Okay. Okay, so this is an example how to use the bin that we have declared before. Okay, declare the bin that you want to access here, and then display the output is here. Okay, here bin1 dot get message, bin1 dot get message, bin1 dot set message. Okay, call the method setter and also the accessor to display back the value that we want to display. Okay. So this is the output, okay, from the previous program or code. Okay, so this one we will cover with another part of video. We will do this together. Okay, thank you.